Hey there, and welcome. Ever wonder how English, this language from one little island, ended up becoming the go-to language for, well, pretty much everything? From science to sitcoms, it's everywhere. So let's dig in and find out how that happened.
All right, first things first, let me ask you a quick question. If you had to take a guess, what do you think is the most spoken language on the entire planet? Now think carefully because the answer, it's probably not what you think.
So get this, if we're just counting native speakers, people who grew up speaking the language, English actually comes in third. Yeah, third, right behind Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. And that brings up a really interesting puzzle, right? If it's not the mother tongue for the most people, how come it feels like it's absolutely everywhere?
And that is the mystery we're going to crack today. Because what we're about to find out is that the real power of a language, it's not just a numbers game. Nope. It's all about influence.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. See, it's not about how many people speak a language. It's about who those speakers are. It's about the power they have, in politics, in the economy, and in culture. That's the secret sauce.
And you know what's really wild? Just how recent all of this is. English wasn't always this global powerhouse we see today. In fact, if you go back just a few centuries, its place in the world was, well, it was completely different.
Okay, picture this. It's Shakespeare's time, just a few hundred years ago. English, it was seen as a provincial language. Kind of small time, definitely not a big deal. The important people, the ones on the world stage, they were speaking French, Italian, German. Now let's fast forward to today, and boom, it's the world's lingua franca, the common language for pretty much all international communication. I mean, talk about an incredible transformation.
So how on earth does a language make a leap like that? Well, the key is what linguists call a special role. And that basically happens when a language gets picked up and used in a really significant way by countries where it's not even the mother tongue.
Right, so a truly global language isn't just about what people speak at home. It's one that ends up having a recognized job, a function, in pretty much every country on the planet. For things like business or diplomacy or education.
And it turns out there are two main ways this happens. The first path? A country makes English an official second language, using it for stuff like government and in the classroom. Think places like India or Nigeria. Then there's the second path. A country makes English the #1 top priority for foreign language teaching. And that's something we see in just countless countries all over the world.
And because of those two paths, well, the result is the world we're living in right now. A world where English has this absolutely unrivaled reach across, almost every single field you can think of.
Just take a look at this list. We're talking international politics, economics, science, medicine, you name it. And think about this for a second. A pilot from Japan talking to an air traffic controller in Brazil. That conversation is happening in English. It's totally unthinkable without it. It's like the default operating system for global communication.
And this influence, it's so deep that it's woven into your daily life, probably in ways you don't even realize. Let's start with the tech you use every day.
Words like display, chat, email, browser, these are understood by people everywhere, no matter what their first language is.
Okay, how about in your food?
Yep, fast food, hot dog, cheeseburger. These aren't just American words anymore. They're global terms. You can say them in Tokyo or Buenos Aires, and people know exactly what you're talking about.
And of course, in your entertainment, this is where English just completely dominates. The language of movies and TV has gone universal. Words like blockbuster, sitcom, soundtrack, they've been absorbed into languages all over the planet.
But wait, there's one last really crucial piece to this puzzle. As English has spread all over the globe, it hasn't just stayed the same. Not at all. It's a living, breathing thing, and it's constantly being shaped and changed by the very people who speak it.
Think of it like a two-way street. Sure, English gives a ton of words to other languages, but it's also a giant mixture itself. It has been borrowing words from countless other languages for centuries. It really does take just as much as it gives.
And the result of all that mixing and spreading? Well, there isn't just one English anymore. There are lots of them. You've got British English, American English, Canadian, Australian, Irish. The list goes on. Each one has its own unique words, its own flavor, all of it shaped by local history and culture.
So all of this leaves us with one last really fascinating question to chew on. As English keeps spreading, keeps borrowing, and keeps changing into all these new forms, Are we actually watching a brand new global English being born? One that doesn't belong to any single country, but to, well, the whole world? It's definitely something to think about.